Good morning, brothers and sisters. Have you shouted for joy yet? I'm shouting for joy not because of my emotion is high, but I'm exercising my faith to enjoy the truth. For example, Abba became my dear Abba. I can address God as Abba. This is the truth that I can enjoy today. I have to shout for joy. I don't have to feel good or I'm in a good situation. For I have gained this truth. The Lord is my true beloved. He is loving me and thinking of me. I can trust in Him at any time. I can lean at His bosom at any time. My heart can rejoice by Him. No matter I'm in whatever situation, even I meet trials of various kinds, I can still overcome it by faith. I can see the smiling face of the Lord. I can see His heart. Yet there is dark clouds or the attack of the enemies. I can still embrace the Lord. Brothers and sisters, we shall shout for joy. I can shout for joy not because I'm feeling good, but I trust that the Lord has accomplished the glorious salvation. He's risen, and He had overcome the devil. And the Lord has dwelt in our hearts. We can experience deeply at anywhere, anytime. We live by exercising our faith every day, to rejoice by the Lord this way. Brothers and sisters, I hope you can rejoice and be glad every day. Though our lives are so tedious, but every part in our life can be abundance. Let us sing a hymn in God's family hymnal, the 7th. Song 41, Live by faith, rejoice by faith. For there's no English version, so we'll read the translation. Living in faith, truly unrivaled. Shouting by faith, march on by faith. I can be boastful, singing and praising. Live by faith. Me and the Lord are content. Living in faith, truly unrivaled. Count it all joy in various trials. I see the Lord smile under dark clouds. Embrace with the Lord in any circumstances. My heart is full of confidence after singing this hymn. As long as I exercise my faith, I will not be fallen. I really like the 4th sentence of the hymn. Live in faith, me and the Lord are content. Our faith can satisfy the Lord's heart. Of course, our heart are satisfied as well. We live by the Lord, and He is the happiest one. Do you remember in Song of Solomon mentioned, the beloved admire His love. Besides her eyes, also the likeness have captivated the beloved's heart. And the likeness is talking about our faith, and also in the letter to Hebrews mentioned, and without faith it is impossible to please God. Therefore, faith is the primary requirement to please God. It is neither the knowledge, wisdom, nor capability, but our faith towards God. It is not the faith by words, but our trust in Him. The faith when we draw near Him. As long as we have the full confidence in God, then we can be happy in all circumstances, and we know the Lord is in control in any situation. We can see His smiling face and enjoy His personal love to us. Truly, faith is very important. So how to enhance our faith? That's right, we have to draw near the Lord. It's not struggling or relying on yourself, but come before the Lord and let Him to be our influence. Let the Lord to be our help. You can say to the Lord, Lord, I have little faith only. Please help me. If you have this faith, then there is nothing can overcome you. Let us read the translation again. living in faith, truly unrivaled, shouting by faith, march on by faith. I can be boastful, singing and praising, live by faith. Me and the Lord are content, living in faith, truly unrivaled, count it all joy in various trials. I see the Lord smile under dark clouds, and praise with the Lord in any circumstances. Should we pray after finish with this hymn? Lord, it's so precious. Our faith can captivate your heart. Your laws in our faith and love. O Lord, faith is truly unrivaled. Those who trust in you will not be put to shame. Thank you that we can rejoice and be glad by your victory and the advocacy of your salvation. We can exult over the enemies. Lord, may you grant us the full confidence to experience and enjoy you the days ahead. Lord, help us to be the one with faith, to offer our faith, to follow you with confidence to the end. Lord, may we always keep your words in mind, for your words are our greatest support of faith. Lord, may you bless every one of us greatly this year, so that we can experience and enjoy you. It is time for you to stop the recording. Let's draw near the Lord, and once you're done, we'll read the Bible. May the Lord bless you. Brothers and sisters, we'll read in Song of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 4. Let us read the verse. Scarcely had I passed him when I found him whom my soul loves. I held him and would not let him go until I have brought him into my mother's house and into the chamber of her who conceived me. In verse 3, talk about the darling rose up from bed and left home. He went about the city, in the streets and in the squares. Of course, she went to the wrong direction and met the watchman. Then she asked them if they seen him whom her soul loves. And again she asked the wrong person, and the darling would meet them again in chapter 5. And the watchman beat and bruised her. As I have shared before, we may be injured on the path of pursuing the Lord. And one of the reasons is the concept of legalism. We have to please the heart of God or his presence by good works. But this is not the way of God. We shall come before God by faith. As we can see, the darling left the watchman, and a wonderful thing happened. She found him whom her soul loves. And I thought from verse 1 to verse 4, the darling found the Lord finally. In fact, it is not she found the Lord, but she met him. For the beloved didn't leave her at all. My heart was so touched when I read this verse. The Lord always takes the initiative to love us. Truly, he knows where we're up to. He knows our weakness and our lacking. The darling got the wrong direction and asked the wrong person. In fact, the Lord accompanied her all along. If she continued to go in the wrong way and see the wrong person, then it is impossible to find him. Surely the Lord will do something. It's so precious. The Lord will bring us back on the right track over and over again. Sometimes he will get someone to help us, and sometimes he appears to us personally or talks to us. Of course, there is one thing which is very important. Our hearts are ready to think of him and have a desiring heart for him. Just like the darling here, she looked for him everywhere. Though she got the wrong direction, It was her heart of desiring him which resulted in meeting her beloved. The same, we shall have a desiring heart for him. Surely the Lord will appear to us. If we have a desiring heart of him, we shall depart from the obstacle in order to gain him. Hence, when I think again from verse 1 to verse 4, it's so treasurable that the darling met the beloved in the end, and she's making the progress every now and then, and every step of her improvement talked about her turn away. Firstly, she left her bed and her house. She went out and sought for him. So she went into the city, and later on she couldn't find her beloved in those crowded areas. Therefore she left again and met the watchman. And this verse mentions she passed them as well. Brothers and sisters, are you willing to leave your comfort zone? Are you willing to leave those crowded places and go to somewhere quiet with the Lord alone? Are you willing to get rid of those concepts of legalism and exercise your faith to enjoy the love and grace and come before the Lord? To depart every now and then to give you the improvement. We shall enter into the unpredictable riches of the Lord. We shall depart and enter into the depth of his heart, to enter into the Holy of Holies. So we have to leave, to depart from the obstacles which hinder us to know the Lord. I remembered when I was a young believer, I have many bad habits and interests. Especially, I was a Boy Scout. It was a big influence to me. After I believed the Lord, I was in a bread-breaking meeting. My heart was so touched. But the bread-breaking meeting is held on Sunday, and the Boy Scout gathering was also held on Sunday, and it was a difficult decision for me at that time. But my heart was drawn by the love of the Lord, and I decided to quit at last in order I could join the meeting on Sunday. I decided to be a Christian who loved the Lord. I didn't regret at all, for I knew the decision I made was right. Truly, I was closer and nearer to the Lord, and I knew him more. Brothers and sisters, it is so worthy for you to forsake the things for the Lord or for pursuing him. You will experience and enjoy the Lord more. Your relationship with the Lord will be closer and nearer. Nothing is more important than our relationship with the Lord. Paul had suffered the loss of all things and counted them as rubbish, in order that he may gain Christ. The other thing I'd like to share is the darling meets the beloved, and she took the initiative to get hold of him, and she even brought him home. In chapter 1 and chapter 2, it is the beloved who took the initiative. The king brought her into his chambers and the banqueting house. But here the darling met the beloved, and she has taken a more proactive approach. She held him and would not let him go. She brought him home. The more we experience the Lord, the more natural is our relationship with the Lord. Not only the Lord loves us, but we love the Lord in return. It is an interactive relationship when we love each other. The two of you will express to each other. It shouldn't be proactive unilaterally. We can bring the Lord to go here and there, to draw near him at different places. We can go to the mountain with the Lord, to the seashore, and of course we can go to the park or different places. Hence, it is a reminder to me and you all, not only we draw near the Lord in the morning, but during the whole day. Our hearts can come to him throughout the day. Not the love of the Lord draws us, but we have set the Lord always before me, like David. Can we set God here and there, or even before us? What it means here is to take the initiative to draw near God. To set God before you means you can always come and see God. You can always see his face. I found the meaning is very similar to the darling got hold of him and would not let him go. I appreciate the heart of the darling that she wouldn't let him go. Brothers and sisters, when we draw near the Lord, and we come to the stage which is very sweet, truly we really wouldn't want to go. There is no specific time for this sweet and wonderful moment. Normally, I was drawn by him in the morning, that I wouldn't want to go, but I also experienced when I walked with him leisurely, the same. I was drawn by him and wouldn't want to go. Brothers and sisters, I hope we can get hold of the Lord and wouldn't let him go like the darling. Let us enjoy him. You see, the darling has a big difference compared to verse 1. She cares and has a great desire to the Lord very much. No longer she sought him on her bed. She has entered into a new stage. She went into the chambers again. And it is a very special this time, not the chambers of the king, but her own. Not only the king opened his heart, but the darling opened her heart to the Lord. She let the Lord enter to her chamber. Brothers and sisters, the Lord desires for us to be in love with him this way. He longs for our response of love. When we were the young believers, it was like in chapter 1, verse 4. The king brought me into his chambers. And now we have come to chapter 3, verse 4. It is my turn to bring the king into my chamber, isn't it? We shall come to this stage together, to satisfy and please the Lord's heart. Lastly, I'd like to say what is the feeling when the darling held her beloved and would not let him go. She must be very nervous, or she was doubting what will happen if she let go of him. Will he disappear? She was not restful, so she held him tightly. She may fear of losing him again. As I mentioned, I had that experience before. I believed many brothers and sisters experienced that as well. They were drawn by the Lord deeply and were enlightened. Many words of comforting and experience his presence. When the brothers and sisters asked me, how was my quiet time with the Lord, I had a lot to share happily. But sometimes it was very plain, not a lot of sweet experience. Then my mind was wandering around, so I couldn't draw near the Lord. It was the ups and downs experience when I newly believed. My spirit was not joyful, but my spiritual stage was up and down. Sometimes my spirit was high and low. It was the feeling of worrying about gains and losses. I longed to hold on those sweet feelings. The darling held her beloved and wouldn't let him go, for he has an eager heart for the Lord. She longs to draw near him, but it has shown she is lack of confidence. She is scared to lose the Lord, or she has the fear that she couldn't draw near him. The reason is that we don't understand our union with the Lord. He has dwelled in our hearts. We don't have confidence to enjoy the truth. This darling have rooms for improvement and to go beyond herself. Brothers and sisters, it's true. In the early of year 2000, seemed my spirit has stand still. Seemed there is no breakthrough. But when I understood the sweet daily living, sing and worship, the short prayers in life, then I understand how to exercise my mind. It was a great help to my spirit when I practiced the sweet daily living and sing and worship. It was a big penetration. My feeling of insecurities had gone. Truly, I can enjoy the Lord every day. I can enjoy and experience him when I come before him every day. It was not by feeling, but by exercising my faith, especially when I practice the sweet daily living, sing and worship. It is so easy for me to enter into worshiping and think of the Lord. And I can enjoy him easily. My heart is touched even for the very tiny matter, and I'm easily drawn by the Lord. I find my life is so sweet with the Lord. Brothers and sisters, no matter how long you believe the Lord and how old you are, our life and our relationships with the Lord can have to break through again and again. Our relationships with the Lord can soar to a new height. I know my relationship with the Lord has not reached to the top. In fact, there is no end, and it can elevate continually. I really enjoy the life of joining heart to heart with the Lord, but it is not yet enough. I shall love Him wholeheartedly and steadfastly. Brothers and sisters, let us have the common progress. I hope you have some time to quiet yourself and draw near the Lord. Let's open your heart and bring the Lord to enter into your chamber. Let's pour out your heart to Him. May the Lord bless you.